Today I'm going to be showing you a fun fold card. Don't you love those? It's called the double point card. I am going to be featuring some of the Perennial Essence paper, and sometimes we get excited, I know I do, with a new catalog and celebration and all that, and I forget to jump back to the regular annual catalog. So I thought that's what I would do today. So I'm using the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper, and that coordinates with the whole Perennial Essence suite. We've got wonderful products in there. Colored vellum, which I completely forgot about. This beautiful ribbon, gorgeous stamp set, matching punch. So that's what I'll be working with tonight. So that's from the annual catalog, and I'll just show you very quickly what the paper is like. Okay, there's the first. And the flip side is this pretty petal pink. Gorgeous roses. I mean, these almost look real to me. I think I might have this upside down. It's not really directional, but sometimes it looks that way. And a pretty watercolor on the back there. More roses and looks like hydrangeas and daisies and things. More watercolor in the greens, Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. Here's the next one. Some beautiful Blackberry Bliss flowers. And then here's some small little daisy type flowers. Here's another one. Okay. Oh, did I show you the back? Yeah, that is the back. Okay. And then this is gorgeous. Can you see the tiny little flowers in here? Let me lift this up. You see all these tiny little flowers in here amongst the different watercolor colors there. And then this one. Okay, and look how these little flowers in here just kind of go nicely with all of that. Isn't it pretty? And then the back side. Since I've moved and I got myself some new living room furniture, I don't have anything on the walls in there. And when this first came out, I thought, oh, there's some prints in here that would really look nice in my living room on the walls. If I framed them or put them on, what do I want to say, like the artist's canvas, And then I get busy and doing other things and completely forgot about it. So I'm actually going to take these sheets upstairs with me when I'm finished and think about putting some of those up in my living room. But let me show you two samples of the double point fun fold card. Here's one, and I made this one in the horizontal version. I'm in need of some sympathy cards, so that's what I'm making with you tonight. But of course you can make these fun folds for any occasion. Okay, so that's it. This is great, and this is just a card front. It's not a card base that opens. So for somebody who doesn't like to write a lot, or a person of few words, you can just write to Mr. and Mrs. Love, Mary, whatever. Keep it short and simple. Now, if you are somebody who tends to be wordy like me and likes to write more, you may want to do something more like this. So this I've made in the vertical position. It's basically the same thing here, okay? But I do have it mounted on a regular card base. So in here I've stamped with deepest sympathy. But then on the main card base, I might want to write a longer note, something more personal in my own words, okay? So this is what I'm going to show you how to make now. These two, I'll set the samples here kind of out of the way, but hopefully you can still see. Let me double check that on the screen. Okay, ignore my nails. They're really awful, aren't they? They're grown out. hit my finger and broke one off today. One's chipped, but I'm getting my hair colored tomorrow and my nails done. I'm gonna feel like a new woman. Okay, the With Deepest Sympathy stamp that I'm using is from Peaceful Moments, and that's part of the Poppy Suite in the mini catalog. And then I'm also using the Stitch Nested Labels dies, which also are in the annual catalog, part of the Bird Ballad Suite. So these are two of the prints I chose. I already worked with these, so I'm going to do the opposite side and make my double point cards for you using these two patterns. And with those colors, I've pulled Blackberry Bliss, and I've also pulled the Purple Posy, because I think that could work well in there too. Now I also do have that Petal Pink, but I'm not 100% sure how I like this all together. Okay, I like that with it, not so much this. So I'm kind of going to set that aside for now. But basically, I'm going to start with the corner pieces. And you need two of these corner pieces, and each one requires a 3" by 4" piece of designer series paper. You know, I'm going to have to set these aside because I just don't have quite enough room. Sorry. So 3 by 4. So I'm going to cut my designer series paper, a 4" strip, and I'm going to turn it and stuff all over, don't I? And cut 3 inches, and then another 3" piece. Okay. Now for the, what do I want to say, single base card, the the card front, just a card front. I'm going to cut one of those. So that needs to measure the very same size as a standard card base that is closed. So it should measure, and it does, 5.5 by 4 1/4, because that's the standard size of a closed folded regular card base. And then I'm going to cut this to be a layer on that card base. So I've cut this 5 1/4, double checking here. Yes, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Now on each of these two pieces that are 3 by 4, I want to score at 1 inch. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold that. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Put it at 1 inch. Score it and fold it. Okay. Now I'm going to use a pencil, and on the back side, what I want to do is just mark the middle. So 2 inches. And then if this was 3 inches and I scored at 1, we know that the 2-inch marks are right there. And you'll understand why in a moment. I'm marking the center. Just a tiny little pencil mark. Now I'm actually going to score, make 2 score lines so it forms a triangle here. So So what I'm doing is putting where that 1-inch score line is, that little mark there, that corner, is going right in my scoring and cutting line, as is the little pencil mark I just made. And now I'm going to score. Please do remember to share, because everybody who shares, my computer tells me who shared during the live video, your name, and go ahead and comment shared also. That's a good way for me to double check and make sure I have all the names in the drawing. I am giving away a prize today, a Stampin' Up! Prize, and it will go to one person who has shared. So everybody who shares, your name goes into the drawing. So don't miss out on the chance to win a Stampin' Up! Prize. Now I'm going to do the same thing with that other piece, the very same thing. Center point to this little corner at the 2-inch, 1-inch score line. I do tend to go over my scoring a few times, 2 or 3 times, like you might have seen me. I'm not pressing real hard though. That's just kind of my way. Okay, I'll set this aside for now. You do want to use your bone folder, just like on any fun fold card. You want to be sure to get your creases nice and crisp. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. Let's see if I can pull these sides together so they meet. Okay, those meet pretty well. All right, so this is what I have now. So these are going to be those points. My double point card has 2 DSP points. I'm putting a little adhesive on each of the 2 sides of those corners and just pushing it down. That little adhesive there. I'll do the same thing over here. There we go. Fold those down nicely. Okay. Now, before I put this on my card base, I want to be sure to attach these 2 points. Okay, with me? I'm sure you are. So I like to put a piece of adhesive along the top of this and then along the bottom edge of this point fold. And then, I'm trying to hold this so you can see. And then I'm just going to, kind of holding this up at an angle, going to put that edge right into that fold. And then lay it down and everything's lined up perfectly. Okay, then I'll go over that. And then I'm going to do the very same thing for the other side. I'm just gonna, Butterfingers. Going to do the same thing here, lay it in place, matching up my sides. And this is what I have. This is going to be one of those, see just an edge sticking out here. Does that ever happen to you where you see the tiniest little bit of paper peeking through where you don't want it? I just kind of go in there with my scissors at an angle and trim it. Okay, so now I'm ready to put it onto my card base. This is what it looks like from the back. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive in each of the corners, maybe a little in the middle and the top and bottom. And I'm just going to look at the top and each side, check my spacing, lay it down and press in place. Alrighty, now I need to make that top piece as in this one. So I think for this, I know for sure that I want to cut the smallest stitch nested label from this designer series paper, and then the other one I'm going to cut, the larger layer I'm going to cut from the Blackberry Bliss. Let me just bring my big shot in here. This big shot has, well, it always gets a workout, but this week especially, I'm preparing for a team event on Saturday. My sister was here yesterday for a few hours big shotting for me, and then did lots of sorting and bagging. And she was here last week doing, she did 3 hours worth of big shot work, so that was pretty awesome. It's wonderful to have her helping me. And now, I know this is not going to fit all the way into my big shot, so I'm just going to lay it on my DSP and trim around it just like that. You can also, you know, cut it with your paper trimmer. Okay, and then also with that larger layer, I'm also going to cut a white insert. And this I will cut with my trimmer. Oh gosh. You know, that's one of the great benefits of me moving from Cincinnati to Columbus, and I miss my friends dearly in Cincinnati. I really, really do. Talked to a few of them today, but I have a daughter that lives here, and actually Emily, that's at University of Cincinnati, told me starting May 18th she's going to be doing a clinical in Columbus, so that's exciting. She'll be living with me while she's doing that. And then my oldest daughter lives here, but I live 10 minutes from my sister and her family. Okay, so your question, Amy, is can you do this with something else? You could actually, yes. If you have any of the circle punches, like 2-inch circle punch, 2 1/4 inch circle punch, the starburst punch, some of the label punches even will be enough. What is the size of this? The space here is like 1.5 inches. So you need something that is at least 2 inches or larger, okay? So does that help you out, Amy? You could do it with a punch. Just some of the larger punches, okay? And I'm gonna cut one more of these white ones because we'll use it on the second card. You're welcome, Amy. Great question, really great question. I'm glad you asked. Yes, Shar, it is nice to be close to family. I see my nieces more often also. Go to some of the high school games where my nieces attend. Okay, so these are all my pieces and parts. One of these is for my second card. what I'm going to do is take some dimensionals and this DSP layer, I'm going to adhere to the Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Put one right in the center too. I hope you're all having a good Tuesday. This is my second week of full-time Stampin' Up, and I'm excited. I feel good about my decision. I'm still a little nervous. Got a long ways to go, but I believe I can do it, so I'm giving it my best shot. And I know things don't happen overnight. It's going to take lots of determination and stick-to-itness and consistency, but I'm prepared. So now I want to attach it on just one point. And try not to get overexcited, overzealous with your adhesive right here, because it doesn't overlap a whole lot. So what I like to do is put adhesive, right on the corner, right at the point, and then also at this point of my label, because that way I figure I'm going out as far as I can from the point, but not too far that it shows. And you want to make sure you're lining up evenly, top to bottom and left to right. Now we can use this in a horizontal position, or we can use it in the vertical position. It really doesn't matter which way at this point. Now I do want to put a label here, but you know how I am. This would not be acceptable to me if I'm seeing parts of the white when my card is closed. So if you watched the last Facebook Live with me, you may have seen this trick I have for lining up an inside shape with your outside shapes. So I've got, this is the back side, here's the front side. I'm putting the right side down and lining it up with that Blackberry Bliss shape on the front. I'm just holding that shape in place, and I'm going to fold over my card, catch that top corner, and then press all the way down. Hi Vicki and Sandy, thanks for joining in. Remember ladies, it's not too late to share. Share anytime during the live, and your name will be entered into a drawing tonight for a Stampin' Up gift. But you need to share and you need to comment that you shared. Okay, so what do you think? So that's complete, okay? Now I could go ahead and stamp. I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss ink and stamp with deepest sympathy. I probably should have stamped before I adhered it, right? So let's see if I can line this up straight. Oh, pretty good. But you know, and I know too, it's always typically better to stamp first before we adhere. That way, if I had made a mistake, I could have flipped it over, okay? I'm gonna give that a moment to dry. Now, you might wanna add a ribbon or lace or something, some kind of embellishment if you like. I think it needs a little something. I'm not sure if I want the lace on there. No, this isn't really doing it for me. I'm just going to set that aside and think about that. But I am open to suggestions if you have any. Okay, so there's one in the vertical position. Okay, and that's just the card base. The other one I made was in the horizontal position. Okay, so now I'm going to make one, like this one is in the vertical position, but it has the full card base. I'm going to turn this and make a horizontal one, but on a full card base. And let me pull this out. Blackberry Bliss. Don't you love this color? It's really, really a deep, rich color, isn't it? Okay. Now again, I'm going to, I'm trying to decide if I want to do this with the corners. Ooh, I think I'm going to try that. Okay. I'm going to make this my first layer on this card. So I need this to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Now, do you all remember the measurement for the 2 pieces I need to make my points, my double points? Does anybody remember? It's 4 inches by 3 inches, and you need 2 of those. Okay, so 4 by 3 once, and 4 by 3 twice. Okay. Then I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut this one and use the next piece. And the reason I'm doing that is I just like these two seem to have all the darker tones, and these two seem to generally have lighter tones to them. So it doesn't really matter either way. Now I want to score at the 1 inch mark on both of them. I do think the Purple Posy goes nicely with the Blackberry Bliss. I wasn't sure about that. Char, thanks for sharing again. I appreciate it. Oh, color some of the new ribbon Blackberry Bliss. Char, I love it. And I believe I do still have more of that ribbon. Let me grab it. Yes, I do. Thank you, Char. We'll do that at the end after I get the second one made. Okay. So now I'm going to mark at 2 inches. And remember, it's right where that score line is on the sides. Both sides of these DSP are so pretty. I think, oh gosh, I hate to have to cover up either side. Score. And then again, the point, the tip to that side mark. Make sure they're both right on that scoring line, cutting line edge. Same thing on the second piece. Does anybody have this paper? It really is so gorgeous. Now I'm really excited to go upstairs and see. Of course, maybe I should wait till daylight tomorrow. Although it doesn't really matter in Ohio because tomorrow's going to be another gray, rainy day. It's one of those make your own sunshine kind of days. Or weeks, actually, I should say. But that's okay. I'm in my happy place in my craft room and I get to share with all of you. So that's just as powerful as the sun. Now, if you're like me, when I did this, you see that gap, you might have to pull one of those edges over and down just so that they come together a little bit better. It's not terrible if they don't. It just makes it look a little nicer if they do. Okay. So now I'm ready to adhere my corners down. And then I will add them to the card base. Same thing, I'm just going to hold this DSP up and then the cardstock at the opposite at an opposite angle and put the edge to the fold and press it down. Same thing on the other side. Okay, that's what I have. You know, I think I want, since this is, no, it is a horizontal card, right? Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Horizontal card, yes. And I need to cut out you would think my arms would get a workout moving this big shot around, but it just doesn't happen. I'm going to cut both of these at the same time. Try to be a little more efficient with my time, and yours as well. You can move your die around the paper if you want to highlight, you know, if you wanted to highlight some of the white flowers or the purple or the pinks. I'm going to try and highlight more of the purples for these two cards. Oh. Well, that wasn't good, was it? Sorry, ladies. Hello, Kathy Sheely. I have to tell everybody that Kathy Sheely reached out to me. She lives probably within 15 minutes of where I live. We have never met in person, but she reached out to me and we're going to get together on Monday evening and just get to know each other and talk Stampin' Up. She is a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So I feel like I have a new friend already, and I haven't even met her in person yet, but I'm excited to get to know another Stampin' Up friend. Best part about this job is I meet wonderful people, whether it be online or at Stampin' Up events or classes. And there's always so much to learn from everyone, from both demonstrators and customers. There's just always a lot to learn. I wonder if I should have done it on Blackberry Bliss. What do you think? I feel like it would stand out a little bit more if I did it on Blackberry Bliss. What do you think? I think I should switch it up. So I'm going to cut some more. Do you ever do that? You have a plan and then you decide, oh, I think I'm going to change that just a wee bit. Didn't turn out quite the way I envisioned it. But that is the wonderful world of crafting. We get to create based on what we love. Sometimes it's a matter of experimentation, just like that. But I also think when that happens, don't you feel like it, well, how should I say, like broadens your perspective? I do, I believe it does. And sometimes I do something that I didn't intend to do, and it turns out to be, at first I think, oh, I made a mistake, but then it turns out to be a happy mistake. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. Ooh, I love these colors and this DSP together. And I'll redo this. This one I'll save for another card. So I've been working really hard in my finished basement in my Stampin' Piece studio, getting ready to have my first event on Saturday for some of my team members that have signed up to come. I have 8 people from the Cincinnati area coming up. Hopefully I'll get some, eventually have some team members in the Columbus area as well. But anyway, so I'm just about finished. I have the tutorials done. I have to, directions written. I have to take photos tomorrow and then add those. And then I'm pretty much all set for them, all set up. So either, I'm not sure if it'll be the end of the week or maybe it's Sunday's Facebook Live. I'll take you on a tour of my Stampin' Piece studio. Maybe I'll do it Saturday while they're here. That would be fun. Jump on Facebook Live for a little bit and you can see some of my team in action. It's called a Leap Day Super Saturday Stampin' event. Okay, there. Now, we could put white on the inside, or we could go outside of the box just a little bit and put some color on the inside. So I think I'll add this purple posy. So this layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. 5 1/4 by 4. I have this strip of the Designer Series paper, and I thought, you know, I really want to use this a bit. Yes, Pat, I am on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. Oh, I think that's pretty. Does anybody else like me saves those strips and tries to incorporate them into their designs? Just a little surprise on the inside of the card. Great question, Pat. I also have a Facebook blog, stampinpeace.com, STAMPINPEACE, stampinpeace.com, no G. Okay, so here, now I do want to put this here because that way I can stamp with deepest sympathy inside. Do you notice what I've noticed? I got a little overzealous with my adhesive there, so I want to get rid of that so it doesn't stick to the inside. Does everybody remember my trick for lining this up on the inside? Pat, you are welcome. I'm going to lay this with the right side on top of the other edge, or the top of the other label from the front. I'm going to hold that in place with everything lined up nicely and fold over the card base and press down. So lined up very nicely. And I will stamp the sentiment with Blackberry Bliss again. Trying to line it up straight. Again, I should have stamped first. Oh, but it worked. Okay. That could have been stamped in the purple posy as well. All right. Now, I believe it was Shar suggested for an embellishment that I color some of this crinkled seam binding with the Blackberry Bliss. Make sure I have the right one. Yes, Blackberry Bliss. I'll show you both the light and the dark shades. So there's the light. Hi, Marion. Oh, Marion is one of my team members that will be here on Saturday. I don't know. I think either one will work fine. I kind of am leaning towards the lighter one. So let's give that a try. Set everything out of the way. The nice thing about using the Stampin' blends when you do this is they are alcohol-based markers, so it dries almost instantly. The other great thing about using the Blackberry Bliss, or the Stampin' blends, is that after it's dry and you're working with the ribbon, the ink will not be coming off in your hand. I think I better go a little bit longer for a bow. I like to have more than enough than too little. Okay, see, it's pretty much dry already. So I'm going to make a pretty bow with this. Great suggestion, Shar. Woohoo! Love it. I love when we create together. When I can be working on a project and people can offer suggestions, it helps me to learn and create also. Okay, there it is. There's one. Just trying to fluff up those loops a little bit. I'll trim my edges a wee bit, or ends. And then I'm going to use a glue dot on the back of the knot. That's where I put my, whoops, did it come off? On the back of that knot is where I put my glue dot. There it is. Okay. And this one I think I'm going to put right here by this white flower. Oh, very pretty. Ah, okay, I think I might have to stock up on this white seam binding. I've used it a lot and I thought, oh, maybe I'm overusing it, but I'm telling you, when you start coloring and it becomes, you know, the go-to ribbon that you can customize, makes me think I need to stock up on it. Okay, now that was using the light. Okay, the light shade. of I don't think we have, let me see, do we have purple posy? Oh, we do. Okay, let's try the purple posy. Wasn't sure if we had purple posy in the, gosh, such a mess, in the Stampin' blends, but we sure do. I'm gonna try the dark. What do you think? Oh, let's just do it. Let's just do it. See. Oh, Pat, thank you. I'm glad you like the card. Sue, welcome. I'm happy you joined in. Remember, you can always view the replay of my lives on the same site. All you have to do is search the date, or you can simply go to videos on the left-hand column, and you'll be able to see all the Facebook Live replays there. Eventually, they do all make it to, typically make it to my blog and my YouTube channel as well. And on those, I do try to edit out the very beginning when I'm waiting for people to jump on and that sort of thing. Remember to share if you want to be included in the drawing for a Stampin' Up! Prize. I don't know what it's going to be today. Sunday's winner won a package of pearlized doilies. That winner was Marty Blair. And I appreciate her sharing along with everybody else that shared my live on Sunday evening. Okay. Notice I play with my loops and tails, I call them, until I get the bow about the size that I want it. Hi, Leah. And this one, I think I'll put right there. One glue dot behind this little knot on the bow will do it. Okay. Now I did think about putting a few rhinestones on. What do you think? We can even color. Oh, it is the bomb. That ribbon is the bomb. Great way to say it. It is the bomb. We can even color some of these rhinestones with our Stampin' blends. You know, Leah, it just takes practice. Just takes practice with your bows. I have no doubt that you can do it. Okay. Why this is sticking everywhere, but it is. Okay, so I think, let's do this. I'm going to just maybe some of these medium-sized ones. And remember that typically things are more pleasing. Whoop, I don't know where that one went. Things are more pleasing to the eye when they're in threes or in odd numbers. So that's why I'm choosing. Some of those are just flicking right off of my thing, and I don't know why. Okay. Now those are pretty light, so we'll see how they do. Let's go ahead and put the Blackberry Bliss ones on. I had my Big Shot brush accessory on my take your pick tool, and I didn't change it back to my putty, and I was like, you know what, this works just as fine this way. And I'm just going to put a few of these, not a lot. I think up like that, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe this one over here. Do you think 3 is enough, or do I need 5? I'm thinking I might want to do 5 on this card since I chose the small ones. I'm going to wait and see what you say. Do you think 3 or 5? But in the meantime, and okay, these, I'm going to go over these again. Some of these are losing their stickiness. I don't know why. Okay, those lighter colors, sometimes you have to go over them more than once, and it's just ends up being very, very subtle color. Amy says go 5. Mary Lou says 5. Pat says enough. So let's do this. Let's put 5 on this one, and then we'll do just 3 on the next one. I'm going to go like up here, and then maybe this one over here. I don't know. I could go either way. I really could go either way. Okay, so let's put our purple posy ones on, and I think we'll just do 3 on here. How about 1? You can hardly see the purple posy color on these. How about like that? Okay. Leah, this is part of my take your pick tool. Let me see if I can grab the rest of it here. Okay. All right, what do you think of the cards, everybody? Do they get some hearts, thumbs ups? Oh, I really love the color combination. I really do. I love on this one how we also use the DSP as the background. Love them both. And in case you weren't here when I got on at the beginning, these were 2 sample cards I made. Same Perennial Essence Designer Series paper pack, but completely different color scheme. Okay, I'm glad you like them. Okay. Leah, let me tell you what this is. I'm going to put it together this way so you can see how it actually comes. Okay, so this is it's called the Take Your Pick tool. Take Your Pick tool. It costs $10, and it comes with one end like this, has a little spatula and a piercing tool. You just stick it in, either one you want, stick it in, whatever side you want to use, and turn it slightly, and it locks in place. If you want to switch it, take it out, turn it, turn slightly, and lock in place. Okay, now it also comes with another accessory, and it is, I don't have it handy, but it is the stylus. So it has a small ball stylus on one end and a little bit larger one on the other, but each of those would fit just like this. You would just remove this one and stick the other accessory in. Now this side is what I call the putty end, the putty tip, and some people want to just turn it all the way and the putty starts coming out. That's not what you want. You only want to turn it a very little bit until that putty is coming out. Mine might be just about out. See how it's coming out now? I still have a little ways to go before I run out. But when you first get it and you put it on, it'll look something like this, and you turn it just enough to get it started, because you only need that tiny little bit right there, okay? And then it has this plastic lid to protect that little bit of putty. But you just keep, you know, and if you need more, you just turn it that tiny little bit till it starts coming out. But what this does is basically you just put it on top of your embellishment, or maybe your little paper letters that you have cut out for scrapbooking, anything like that. Just press it down lightly and pick it up, and then you can put it directly on your paper. So it's great getting things perfectly placed where you want them. And it does come with 2 putty ends. So, and you know, it takes a while to use up a putty end. But, so you get all that, as you see here, plus 1 more putty end and the stylus accessory, all for $10. Now you can purchase a 2-pack of putty refill ends, because when it gets to the bottom, you turn it all the way and there's nothing left in there to come out, you're going to pull this out and you're going to throw this away, this part of it, just this part of it, not the whole handle thing, okay? Let me get it out now. Okay, so like when it's all used up, you would unscrew it, and this is the part you would throw away. Now we have an additional accessory, the Big Shot die brush accessory. So you can take off your putty end at any time, and then you can add, screw on that Big Shot die brush. And then this is when you are, I'm trying to think, what do I have here that I've been cutting? Oh, I know. This is for a project for my Saturday event. I cut out a bunch of these pineapple pieces, and with that you have all these little teeny tiny pieces that fall out. Well, while it's still in, everything's set up over there so I can't grab it. I would have my die on the paper, roll it through my Big Shot, take this off. Before I remove that die, I would go over it, just brush, brush, brush. And what it does, it's not supposed to push your shape out of the die. What it's supposed to do is push all the tiny little pieces out. Remember before how we used to take a piercing tool and push all those little things out? You don't have to do that. This will get most of them out this way. But again, you do it while the die is still on it, okay? And it comes with 2 of the sponge mats, and honest to God, I don't remember what the price is of that accessory. It's not very much, and it is so worth it. So it's a great deal. As Shar says, it's a must-have tool. It really is very cool, very useful. I use it almost every time that I'm down here crafting. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions, comments, suggestions? Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting me and allowing me to do what I love and share it with all of you. Oh, just one more thing I want to say. Oh gosh, we're on an hour already, so sorry. Has anybody ever received a gift from this place, Sugarfina? My sister and brother-in-law gave me a Valentine's gift. It comes different candies, and they did it for me for my birthday last year too. But in here there's like some kind of little insert, and it fits like 3 plastic cube containers, and they have different kinds of candies in and things like that. But honestly, this box is too nice to throw away, isn't it? It's like the sturdiest thing. I think I could stand on it and it wouldn't even crush. So one of my projects for this week is to repurpose this, or prepare it for repurposing. I want to decorate it Stampin' Up! Style. So look for this to be done fairly soon, and I will post the result of that on my Stampin' Piece blog. Have a great Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you on my Stampin' Piece VIP group at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Good night.